Bitcoin just flashed a new capitulation signal, and markets are starting to run out of steam with the recent rally. So let's take a look at what's going on. The Dow down 0.5%, S&P down 0.69, NASDAQ down 0.68. This is early in the session today. As we always like to say, you need to watch the momentum of the buying or selling into the close to kind of determine what the next few days or weekly setup is going to look like. But we'll take a look at the charts here in a second. And it's looking like this recent rally we've had over the last couple of weeks is starting to lose its momentum. And we have the China situation, obviously, with the lockdowns and things like that in China and the protests, which are definitely going to disrupt supply chains. Apple shares are slipping on the iPhone production, taking a big hit from the unrest in China. So the China COVID situation has not resolved. The lockdowns are still going on, and people are rising up now. So the supply chain healing that the markets were kind of looking for on these last rebounds seem to be in question right now. And ultimately, what's it going to look like? We have the Fed coming out. Jerome Powell's going to be speaking, and he's going to smack the markets down. The economy is looking strong. Retail sales came in really strong over the weekend for Black Friday. We have Cyber Monday today. So the consumers are still spending. The economy is still looking strong. Jobs are still, job market is still looking good. More vacancies than people willing to take them. There have been some tech layoffs, but those are, positions where severance is being offered, things like that. So it's going to take a little while for those types of things to really work through the economy, taking effect. But this rally right here that we're into is kind of similar to the June rally, which ended up lasting total time about 41 days. Right now, this rally looks a lot like June. It went a little higher. It's 40 days in. So kind of interesting. And this is the Dow where it did reach out just past the previous rally before it started to reverse. So this extended a lot higher than a lot of people thought or expected, but in bear markets that can happen. It can go a lot higher than you think, and go a lot lower than you think. That was almost a 20% rally, whereas back in June off the wick low, it was a 15% rally. So nice rally here over the last few weeks. NASDAQ didn't do quite as well, or the S&P. Most of the capital went into the Dow as the rotation was taking place. One of the issues is the VIX gapping up today, kind of filling this gap right here. As we said, as the VIX started to reach that 1920, that's your sell signal right there. As the VIX rises, gets up into the 30s, mid 30s to upper 30s, that's your buy signal. When the VIX is high, it's time to buy. When the VIX is low, look out below. So the VIX has reversed. Dollar still kind of hanging on to this little area of support here, as are the 10-year notes as well. So are we going to see a rebound in that? Big story is U.S. oil is down on the China news and the reopening play in China as far as, demand and things like that. So a lot to look at there. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. And Bitcoin, again, as it has been doing this whole time, is going from level to level, working its way down in an orderly, deleveraging, repricing kind of fashion. Not a big panic situation yet. Like I said before, we haven't seen panic selling in crypto yet. Not real panic, not huge panic. A lot of the people that have been in crypto for a while still hanging on, not selling, probably won't sell. But a lot of the institutional capital is kind of holding back. A lot of the bigger investors kind of holding back until the space figures itself out with everything that's still unwinding and all of the fallout from the FTX situation, BlockFi filing bankruptcy today, things like that. But here's the signal I'm talking about. The Bitcoin hash ribbon indicator is now, as the miners are coming under pressure, flashing capitulation. So this is the Bitcoin capitulation signal, the hash ribbon capitulation signal. And the question is, what is going to happen from here? We know that the hash rate was at all-time highs. We know the difficulties at all-time highs. Miners are under pressure. They are well below, probably 50% below cost right now to produce Bitcoin. So they're shutting off machines, going out of business, a lot of issues there. So miners have been selling, and this is going to just pick up as the price continues to drop, as Bitcoin is working these levels here. So let's take a look at the last couple of times Bitcoin has fallen into capitulation. And this buy signal now has been invalidated. That's been a long term signal that could generally be relied upon, where this represents usually a good area to buy. This time totally invalidated because, again, a lot of these signals, we're just in a different macro environment right now, a whole different global macroeconomic environment. But in any event, the last time this capitulation signal flashed, let's take a look at where it flashed. It was right up in this area, and then the price dropped. Let's see what that was. So it flashed, and let's just go right here from this bottom here, and we'll say that was about a 36% price drop there, which if Bitcoin were to drop 36% from here, where does that put the price? And I think there's probably a lot of technical confluence that has been presented there. If it dropped 36% from here, that puts price at about, well, let's see, I ran out of room there. 36% from here, that puts price at about $10,000, somewhere around there. Yeah, right around $10,500. And you've seen a lot of technical analysis out there and analysts that are pointing to that price point. Let's take a look at another area where the price capitulated right back in here when the capitulation started in 2021. Let's see where that was. Let's see, price was right up in here. And what was the bottom after that? This was that summer last year when the price was working its way to the bottom. Let's just take it from this little level here. That was a 16% decline. And we know where that's going to show us. 16% on Bitcoin from here is not a tremendous drop, but it still puts it around probably that 14,000 level, where a lot of targets are showing. 13,800, 14,000. There's a lot of technical confluence there is the next level down for Bitcoin that makes sense from a technical standpoint. And let's go look at 2018. Let's see what we've got in 2018, because look at this right here, the way this is kind of playing out. And let's go back to 2018 and let's take a look at right in this area here, coming off of, the biggest drawdown, and then this kind of sideways area that I've been kind of saying I feel like we are in right here. Potentially could be in a resting place like this after, a couple of legs down there. But let's just say if this is what we've been experiencing since the last buy signal, where the hash rate's just been straight up, then decides to roll over, this would be the area that I kind of felt like we had been sitting in right here. The date range is close. Today's the 28th of November. That actually puts the price right in this area. So let's just take a look at two things here. If it's this area where the signal flashed, the price ultimately dropped 50% from there, which obviously puts you around $8,000, $8,500 right now. But if it's this area here, and if you kind of say from a date range standpoint to 28th of November, and let's just say it dropped there, that would be about 25%. So let's go take a look at those two things and see what else we can find in the charts that might give a little bit of confluence to that area there. And let's just say 25% puts the price around 12,000, 35% puts it around 10,000. So there's a lot of technical confluence for both of those targets, but here's the big one. We do know that Bitcoin the last several times has dropped 80 to 85%. 80% is around 12,000, 13,000. 85% is 10,200. And then 90% would be right around $6,500. So there is a lot of technical confluence, historical precedents for that $10,000 to $12,000 level as Bitcoin continues to just kind of unwind level by level without a big panic capitulation. And the question is, will we see one? It's hard to say. But as far as the economy, what we have ahead of us, we have some Fed speakers coming out. We have Jerome Powell that's going to come out. He's going to talk the markets down. He does not want to see these rallies. That's easing of financial conditions. He wants financial conditions to continue to tighten because inflation has not subsided long enough. The Fed wants to see multiple data points on inflation peaking and or receding. We are in a time of spending. The consumer's looking strong. The job market's looking strong. So they have a lot of ammunition to continue their path forward. So the markets are going to try to decide 50 basis points or 75. Right now, 50 is definitely priced in. If they start to indicate 75s on the table, markets will unwind a little bit. We have the China situation and those types of things weighing on the market. So generally, there is some opportunity for the market to retest the lows and then maybe go on for one last run towards the end of the year for a nice little rally so everybody can hit their bonuses on Wall Street and the money managers can get their bonuses and things like that, which is why you'll see that Christmas rally a lot of times, the Santa Claus rally on Wall Street. So these are the things I'm looking at. I'll see you in the next video.